Hello and welcome to Experiencing Love. I'm your host, Philip Jocks, and I'm so glad that you're here. Let me scoot in a little bit closer. Today I have a story of a funny moment that I experienced. I'm not going to say it's a funny story because it might not be to anyone but myself. So earlier today I was sitting outside and I was just petting my dog. My dog, Crispy, a cutie patootie, deserved a little bit of loving. And so I was giving him the scratchies and the pets and the pats, all of it. And at some point, I get a little bit distracted. I get asked to bring in the recycling bins that were now empty in front of the house. And without thinking, I went, grabbed them, brought them back. And as I was walking back, I hear the sound of paws on concrete behind me towards the street. And when I turn around, I see my dog standing there staring at me with that huge dog-like, puppy-like grin almost. I don't know if it's an actual grin, but I can tell that my dog was just about ready to really enjoy himself. I immediately froze, stopped to think, okay, what do I do? How do I get him back here? And I would say my success rate whenever this does happen, because it happens every once in a while, every few months, my success rate is probably about 75. No, I'll give myself a little more. 85%, meaning it's actually probably closer to like 75 or 65. But my success rate in getting him back without him going completely crazy is usually pretty good. This was not one of those times. I went, grabbed his leash, thinking it was going to be a short time, thinking it would be easy to do. So I was still barefoot. That was a mistake. I know that now. But anyways, he immediately took off just a couple houses. And he pretty much took me for a walk. He decided, you know what? I'm just going to go explore. And every single time I started to get closer to him, trying to call out to him to stop, to stay, to sit, he would just run another few houses up until the point that he was about 3 blocks away. At that point, I just kept following him because I knew if I turned around to go get shoes, I might really lose him. So I followed. At some points I ran, at some points I walked very slowly. Sometimes I was crouching to entice him to come to me. Nothing worked. Finally, we get to someone's lawn for which he decides that's his bathroom, which was embarrassing because other people were watching. And immediately after that gets a hyper boost, just starts going. Zoomies on lock. And he was gone. He went right back the way we came. He juked me, absolutely broke my ankles. And I had a card tell me, oh, he went that way, he turned that way, which happened to be my street. So pretty much what ended up happening was he took me on this walk every few houses, went to the bathroom and decided, yeah, I'm ready to go home now. I think Philip wants me home. And sprints home. Does not take any more pit stops. So at the very least, I'm very glad that he did that. But he did cause a lot of chaos and confusion. The whole time I'm running and I'm wondering, why? Bro, stop, please. I beg of you. My feet are starting to kill me. The hot asphalt and the hot sidewalks did a number on my feet, and I now have 2 giant blisters forming, already formed. It took literally just getting home for my feet to be like, hey, yeah, this sucks. And then going back to go clean up his mess, I actually drove back, even though it was only 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away. So now my feetsies are a little bit hurt, and I was still wondering why. What's going on? And funny enough, I did get something out of it as I was running, and I saw my little symbols from the universe telling me what to do. I can't say telling me what to do. It's more like I see my symbols whenever I have a certain thought, and it's just something I choose to let guide me in my thoughts, in my feelings, because sometimes just seeing a symbol, seeing something that matters to you is enough to reset your behavior, right? It's not about whether or not the symbol is actually telling you something. It's more, what effect does having a symbol in your life mean for you? I've heard stories. Some people have, say, a butterfly or a certain bird that whenever they see it, they just know that, say, a loved one who's departed is speaking with them, or they know that God or the universe is sending them a sign. Some people have numbers. My symbol, funny enough, is Kia Souls. I went in depth a while ago as to why that is, but to be brief, it pretty much became my symbol because for years I want to say for about 6 years, from about 16 till maybe 21, actually, I would say. So 5 years. I hated them. They bothered me to no end. I would actually get physically and mentally upset seeing them. And it was for no other reason than it was a joke in a friend group that stopped being a joke at some point. And at one point, I just decided if I can make myself feel upset by seeing something when I have absolutely no reason to, well, I could make myself feel happy for seeing something. And I thought the best way to do that, the best way to test that way of thinking was to do it for Kia Souls because it was something I hated. And now it's become something that I love. I choose to believe that it's a sign because I always see them, I feel, when I most need it. Because for me, something very important, very specific happens. When I see one, like I mentioned before, it has me stop. When you see something that breaks a pattern, what do you think when you interrupt that pattern? What is your way of thinking? For me, it's often to look at how I was thinking. What was I thinking about, right? How was I behaving? How was I feeling? In this moment, I was feeling frustrated. I was feeling upset. I was wondering, why is my dog running away? And just seeing not one, but two Kia Souls on the same street, just a couple houses down from each other, I realized, oh no, this is not the worst thing in the world to happen. This is not terrible. Yes, he's running away, but he's also safe. He's also in front of you. Yes, he's running in the street, and there have been cars that have driven by, but none of them have hit him, right? And at the end, it reminded me that, oh no, he still ran home. He still knows where home is. He still knows to go home, even if he was a little bit, honestly, just excited. He was happy to be here, happy to just exist and run free. And in seeing those Kia Souls, seeing my symbol, that reminds me to stop, reevaluate, and just honestly be more happy, be more appreciative, be more grateful, be more aware. Well, first of all, I'm just grateful for that. I'm actually grateful that he ran and he had a good old time for himself. He put me outside, and it reminds me of honestly talking on here just a few days ago about how I need to go exercise more. In seeing the Kia Souls, I said, oh, you know what? This is a good reminder that I need to move around more. I need to go exercise more. I need to go start running. I say need to. I want to go start running. But also, I mentioned how I want to go back to rock climbing. And a very important thing to do that I didn't do at the scene of that decision was I didn't take an action. I didn't do something to make sure that I was going to follow through. In this case, I didn't plan a day that I was going to go. I didn't plan a time. I didn't put it in motion. So it just became something that every morning I would wake up and say, you know, I really should go do that. I really should go back and rock climb. I really should go run. But none of these days have I been doing that. So, funny enough, in going for this impromptu run with my dog, with the old crispers, well, it reminded me that it's really important to just take action. I do a lot of observing, honestly. It is my tendency, it is my character that I enjoy observing. I make a lot of mental notes, mental comments, and it's also my default. It's not something that I consciously choose to do. It's just something I do. But there's only so much observing you can do before it's time to not just step back, but step forward and say, okay, with everything that I've learned, with everything that I've seen, this is what has to be done. And then not just doing that, but actually doing it. Taking a step, choosing a step, taking that step, and observing the outcome of that step. Not just the outcomes of what's happening around you, but the outcomes of what you're doing. So after that beautiful experience, well, I decided to come home and start planning for what I'm gonna do next. Actually, take action. I won't be going on runs, at least for the next day or two, with the massive blisters I have on my feet, but I will make sure to take smaller steps in getting there. Maybe later today, I'm going to pick out a workout outfit, right? And not just pick it out, but lay it out, put it on the side, somewhere that I can see it so that I know that's coming up. That's what I get to do next. Then, say for the run, tomorrow I can choose a place that I want to run. Maybe I want to go to my local waterfront park. Maybe I want to run in the more hilly areas near my house. Maybe I want to go for a much longer drive and go to a more scenic area, one that goes through the woods on this bike trail. I could take these small steps and actually do something about it so that when the day comes where my feet are no longer burning, it feels like a burning sensation, honestly, I can just grab everything in less than a minute and just go, right? Sometimes things just get in the way. Parts of life get in the way. And when life gets in the way, it's usually for a reason. It's usually to maybe slow us down, to look around and really be aware of where we're at and where we're going. Sometimes, and this one has happened many times in my life, it's actually to help me avoid something even worse. It feels bad to be slowed down, but then when I see what I avoided because I slowed down, I become extremely grateful. And then there's times where it's not life slowing us down, it's us slowing us down. And we use life as an excuse. I've been doing that for quite a little bit now, because right now life has been quiet. And so with life being quiet, I can see that I'm being quiet too. I'm not creating movement, I'm not creating chaos, I'm not creating a commotion, right? Something that I can build off of, something that I can move forward from. So that's what I have to do next. It's quite simple. It's quite easy. I just have to create a little bit of chaos by taking steps forward. Chaos is not a bad thing. Chaos is actually extremely helpful because life is all about change, and change doesn't happen when everything is still. So move things around, get excited, take action, do something you've never done before, and see what beautiful rewards you get because of it. They won't always seem beautiful on the surface. It might be running after your loose dog on the street, but there is a reward that comes from it. There is beauty to it. Find those moments, enjoy those moments, and then make more of those moments. You got this. I believe in you. So, however you spend the rest of your day, I hope you truly enjoy it. I hope it's wonderful to experience. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Remember to always fill up with the love, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I love you.